Bring me
Florida State fans, are you out there? Come on in. We're talking Florida State football. Got so much to talk about. Man, this should be like the highest rated show of all time. Here at MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Yes, we got Jason Parker, NBC 6. On the top, we got Logan Robinson, Noel Game Day. You got to check him out there, Noel Game Day. And we, of course, have big game, James Coleman, 02 to 05. Right there at Florida State, playing a little fullback, now a little fifth quarter college football and sports den. How you guys doing?
Good. Will this show have more viewers than FSU had wins this season? That's my question.
Well, we're at 3 right this second. I think we're there. I think we got a chance.
James, a serious question for you. There were a couple of viewers last week who said that you were not here because you were out fornicating with my ex-wife. I just want to confirm for the viewers that you were not doing that.
What?
Yes, exactly. That's our point. You weren't here last week. I asked for a couple of viewers said that. So I just want to check. It's fine. She's all yours if you want, but I just wanted to let you give a chance.
I don't cross swords. So
got it. Appreciate it. Carry on, Mark. What were you saying?
It was a rough week there, Jason. They were just after you, but we kind of entertained it, so that's why the chat kind of overloaded there on you.
Once again, I'm used to it by now. You all are jealous of my sexiness. You're all jealous of my Judaism. Jealous of my, jealous of my intelligence. Jealous of everything. It's fine. I get it. I understand.
And you forgot your Cheez-It box too.
My Cheez-It box is coming. My shout out to Oklahoma State, led by their quarterback Kenny Powers, who beat Miami. Shout out to the Cowboys. Shout out to Mike Gundy. He's a man. He's 53.
Kenny Powers?
He looks like Kenny Powers. Look at the quarterback.
The baseball?
He looks like Kenny Powers, yes.
Oh.
I think he went over to Manny and said, "You're out."
Kenny Powers.
You liked Eastbound and Down. Come on, that was a great show.
Good show.
Absolutely. Mark, you liked that show.
What show was I supposed to like?
Eastbound and Down. It was baseball and it was political incorrectness. It was right up your alley. It was perfect, man.
It's all right.
That's good. As you wear the Cleveland baseball team shirt. Shout out to you.
We're still the Indians for another season.
Yeah.
I don't get that one. Indian. I get the changing the mascot, but I don't get the name changing the name from Indians. But whatever. I don't get paid enough.
Don't get him started, James. Don't get him started. I'm sure
I'm a huge fan of the mascot. I've kept every piece of article of clothing that I possibly can with Chief Wahoo on it.
Great. Now he's going to go on a Twitter rampage about it. Thanks a lot, James.
I mean, no, I'm just saying if I were going to understand that part, I could understand that part. But like Indian is like literally like what like Indian is it's not like Redskin is a slur. I get that. Indian is like. Whatever.
Mark, if you guys are smart, you should do like us with the Seminole tribe of Florida. Buy their love. They get a piece of everything that has the head on it, the Seminole head on it. That's why they don't care, because they're making millions of dollars off us. Buy their love.
Yeah, I would have cared so much more at a previous time in my life, but now it's all just sports, business, same thing.
Okay. Logan, what are you drinking there, buddy?
Strawberry, spinach, yogurt, Greek yogurt, and banana, and whole milk. Saving lives.
With a little natty light sprinkled in?
There's a shot of it. There's a shot of it, and I have some. There's a Bud Light we might put in there too here in a minute, but we'll see how the show goes. I mean, it depends on how many Miami fans get in here.
You do realize that by announcing that you had that, you can never make fun of me for eating a salad ever again, right? You realize
I'm having spinach in here?
You cannot. You have officially lost all privileges.
This is just a shake, though.
This is what happens when your team is 3-6 and everyone's leaving town. This is what we're talking about so far. Thank you, Louis Papp. Is it spring yet? Dear God, get this going.
Spring should be very interesting. With all the transfers and with all the with most of the few kids in this class. Coming in early, trying to get ready, and finally we'll get a chance to, if COVID doesn't do the second round again, but we'll get a chance to see what Mike Norvell and the staff really have. We'll have zero excuses coming up this next year. We'll have a full all full real deal off season. You'll have a full install, and we'll see how much it looks, how well it looks. I think that they've actually got some key pieces where they might have actually gotten better. Where I actually think the talent is there still, but I think especially this Parchment. I think this Parchment pickup is big for me to pick up a wide receiver from Kansas, as we call him, Wizard of Oz. He's still pretty. I think that should be a pretty good, and possibly Mackenzie Milton or Jordan Travis, whoever becomes a starter out of that group, should have a guy who actually makes plays, like what we thought Cameron Terry would be. So the spring should be interesting.
Let's talk about a couple of the pickups they got this week. Obviously, you talked about the receiver that comes in. Then we got the defensive player Logan talked about from Georgia. Florida State got a transfer coming in from the University of Georgia. Talk a little bit about that for a moment.
Mm-hmm. That's a big cat right there coming in, and obviously Florida State's offensive end unit is very thin, so this is a big get. A lot of FSU fans weren't thinking they were in the mix for it, and they're able to grab him. Odell Higgins and Adam Fuller and the rest of the staff are able to snag him. It helps a ton with depth, but not only just depth, he's going to be starting. You lose both Janarius Robinson and Joshua Kando, which we'll probably talk about. They've entered their name into the upcoming NFL draft. So this guy's going to come in and be an immediate impact for a year. Great size on him. And just wasn't really liking the way that he was being utilized in Georgia's defense. So I think it's definitely a big time get, and FSU fans should be happy for it, because right now, if you're looking at it, once you lose the two twin towers with J-Rob and Kando, there was, you're looking at guys that, have had maybe a good amount of playing time, but really weren't, there wasn't big splash plays from these cats. So he's going to come in and bring some kind of veteran experience too. And you also have Jarrett Jackson. You're looking at, Big Country, and a few others that might move on the outside. So it was a big, solid get that Florida State really needed heading into this offseason.
I'm sorry, Logan. You gave that entire breakdown. You didn't say the man's name once. What's the player's name?
Johnson. I just call him Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson's his name.
I was actually going to point to the attention of when Jason tries to wrestle the hosting duties away from me. This is what you get. You don't get names presented to the public, and just Logan's doing the analysis. You should have been able to set him up a little bit better than that.
Once again, in typical Mark fashion, blaming me. So that's what Mark does best here. I'm sure he was sending a mean tweet about Cleveland's baseball team or something, but that's fine.
I am looking up the stats of Andrew Parchment, who is the transfer wide receiver from Kansas. Who had a nice little season in 2019 with 65 catches, 831 yards, 7 touchdowns, 24 catches this past year with 2 touchdowns.
Right. So
he's played at a high level.
And he also he's played very well against teams that we're not 100% sure how he will play well against. I got a chance to actually chop it up. That's one of the beautiful things that I get to do. Kind of come in like an OG or a stats to talk with some guys, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I talk to them very candidly and very real. And some guys, I don't just tell people to go here or there. I just get a vibe of what they do. But some people I can tell, I'll go and I'll tell people who ask me, I don't think that they'll work here. And I think I got a good vibe from him. One of the first things he said was, man, I can't wait. He's like, if you can't get up to play for Clemson, Notre Dame, Miami, Florida, trying to think of somebody else on our roster. North Carolina, I believe we play next year again. He's like, and Boston College has improved. He's like, and I just put 150 on them. He's like, if you can't get up for those guys, then you don't want to play in the NFL. And that's what I like. I need guys who actually do want to play in the league. I think a lot of these guys that even some of the guys that have entered the portal that we named, I think a lot of the guys who have been recruited, it all sounds good, but it's fictional. Their intentions. It's just like you don't just go to the NFL by wearing the jersey. You go to the NFL by putting up stats, by putting up numbers, and these guys have done absolutely nothing. So to see this guy try to get to a more bigger program that plays on a bigger platform, I like those guys.
James, talk me down off the ledge here for a second, because I know Logan and Mark are ready to push me off the ledge here on this one. I want you to talk me down off the ledge, because we're the old timers here as far as the Florida State fans go. Tell me why I shouldn't be freaking out about the fact that we're supposed to be excited about a wide receiver transfer from Kansas.
Because we don't have any. Because we have zero.
So this is where we are.
Production. Well, let's just hold on, check, because this is again. I got a chance to again flex my alumni muscles that not everybody gets a chance to do. Because I got a chance to because this year has been a weird year for everybody involved, fans, media, and I unfortunately get swept up into this thing where people believe that I don't get to speak my mind as media because I'm a former player, which I have to talk about Florida, Miami, Georgia, the ACC, the SEC. I talk very, 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 very candidly about the Jaguars. I get on them really, really bad. But I talk about the NFL. But people believe that I should be all smiles and Hallmark cards, to the effect that dumbass fans have gone around saying, they read your tweets, James. Those are mean tweets, and that's pushing the guys away, which I think is stupid. If they get upset by mean tweets, then they can't play at Florida. They can't play at Clemson. Because guess what? Those people say very mean things, and our fans say very mean things too when they're mad. When they're good, they love you. But I'll say this: Ron Dugas has not had a chance. This is his second year to recruit his wide receivers. That receiving room isn't his. That receiving room is a bunch of guys that he didn't recruit. And there's a bunch of guys that have had different ears, that have had guys trying to come in there. So if this is a guy that actually should be what Terry was supposed to be on the second go around. And now you'll see the next step of some of these other young receivers mixed in with, if we can get Destin Hill or another type of playmaker, then it's not just this one person, it's the totality. And I'm not even going to the next step and anointing them as the receiving room, but I can give you for hope. If you want hope, I can't push off the ledge, but if you want hope, again, I hate to say this, but look south on I-75. When they got Grimes, when they got their transfers, put it like that, wide receivers, they were big names or decent names when they were recruits, but they had done absolutely nothing in college. But once they got there and got into the system, they fit. So if this is a guy that Dugans actually gives the okay with, that he feels that he's good with, then I like that. But just even the way he's talking is way different than any other of our guys have talked. Like when I listen to it, maybe it's because he was talking to me, and I'm not media. I'm different. And he felt like he was talking to another player, so he's more relaxed and feels like he can talk that trash like we talk. But when I listen to a season full of buy-in, coaching, we're going to do this, and we're so grateful, we're thankful, we're smiles and Hallmark cards, and things like that. When I've heard all the other interviews and that's what was coming from it, and then I hear this guy say, "Man, I just want to get out there. I just want to dominate. I just want to run routes. I want to burn the receiver, the DB that I burnt against Boston College again, but at Florida State. I just want a quarterback that can actually throw the ball forward." Because if you go back and you look at what he had at Kansas, that's part of the reason why he's leaving Kansas, is because he didn't have a good quarterback situation, which our quarterback situation ain't optimal, but it's better than theirs.
And the situation of Florida, I guess, let's just be honest, Trayvon Grimes transferred from Ohio State. He was obviously from South Florida, and then Justin Short from Penn State, bigger name programs. I guess my question was just more the fact it's Kansas. Kansas has been a running joke in the Power 5 conferences for the better part of the decade now. So that's what I would
also go look at where he put up. Look at his stats against pretty decent teams, and you'll see that he's like, that's the reason why. Not last year, but the season before. It's not like he just put up, like, he got 900 yards and 780 of them were up against just traditional Ducks. He's performed pretty well against some teams that in the Big 12 that put up numbers, but overall there's still some glaring needs. We still need a running back. We still need another running back because we lost a good running back.
Yeah,
we still need another offensive lineman. We still need some other pieces.
I certainly think it's understandable for a typical fan, if there's a transfer from Oklahoma, to say, "Hey, we're excited about that," versus Kansas. But you got to delve a little bit deeper than that. There are quality players at Kansas. In the Power 5, they actually have players that move on to the NFL. It may only be 3 or 4 starters out of their 22 on the depth chart on the first team, but it's still 3 or 4 or 5 guys. It's probably more than that.
I was not attacking the Kansas Jayhawks. Everyone, deep breath. Go love Miles. Go Mad Hatter. It was not attacking the Jayhawks at all. But now let's hear Logan's side of the story. Logan's going to tell you why this is the greatest transfer in the history of college football, why Mike Norvell's a genius. Logan, go ahead.
Mike Norvell is killing it right now. Absolutely doing his thing. I mean, this might be something that will go down and start his written book on how this is going to be a whole turnaround from 3-6 to a national championship team next year. Just
beer?
Because of this get.
Where's my beer? Where's the beer?
I'm trying to get you to drink, but you just won't ever drink with me. That will be the day that we go to Potts and have a good time, or your favorite Bullwinkles.
I literally texted you when I was in Tallahassee and said, Bullwinkles, all you can drink, I'll buy.
I never got that. Had to have been way earlier in the season. COVID.
You blended mushrooms? Did you blend mushrooms into that smoothie? Did you mention that? Shrooms?
Literally.
Because that's hallucinations right there. That's some good. That's some good optimism. I could never be that optimistic.
Yeah, that's a little too much natty ice in the system right there.
I've got to mess with Jason a lot. I have to. It's the off season now.
We got plenty of time.
But to the not Jackson. Damn, I talked about this too. The kid from Georgia, Johnson, right?
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine.
He at this point, anybody coming in on the defensive side of the ball should be heralded. You also got Jason, you're better with names. I don't like names. I don't do very well with. But the kid from Arkansas that I know I shocked a lot of people when I broke that he was going to commit because nobody knew who he was. I didn't know who he was. It was literally dropped on my lap. Like it was literally, hey, this kid from Arkansas is coming. I said, yeah, right. Prove it. They had to show me, and I'm like, boom. But again, just some additions by guys who are literally at least they have nothing to lose or they want to play for these guys. Because you got, but I will say this: between the transfers and the recruits, there's in the spring, understandable COVID, 70% of this roster has been brought in by Mike Norvell. So that is your team. You have flipped this locker room. It bet not be no 3-6, and there's more to come. There's still about I believe about 4 to 6 people that they're still in it for. Doesn't mean they're coming, but I know that there are some steps, there's some things that's up that I believe upgrades. And the cool thing is too, outside of like with the Johnson kid, with some of these other potential guys, is they're not just getting one and dones. Parchment is a one and done, but a lot of these other guys, Milton, is he a one and done or does he have 2 years? Because I'm confused because people keep giving me he's a one and done. Okay,
yeah.
I thought he might have had that on merit, but whatever. So those two one and dones. The other guys have 3 and 4 years that they'll have left where they'll be able to come in and be able to contribute, and so they're basically in a recruiting class.
Yeah, and James is 100% correct on this. I think it's time we've talked about this the past couple of weeks, talked about this basically over the course of the entire season. This is not the Florida State team of the dynasty era. This is not the Florida State team that James was on. This is a Florida State team this is the past 4 seasons. The last season of Jimbo, the 21 games of Willie Taggart, and then the last season of Mike Norvell. That's where we are. This is what we're going to have to do. So if we got to get transfers, we got to do whatever. That's what we got to do.
There's a lot of them now with this whole offseason already started. I mean, it's like a whole army out there that you can try to go and grab. And it seems like there's, like James was saying, there's definitely more that I think Florida State is in the mix for. But now it depends. I have another cat now here. Just nonstop.
I'm sorry, time out. Mark, can you go back to that last comment for 1 second, please? I'm sorry. I hate to apologize. And Logan, I do sincerely apologize for interrupting you on this one. It was the Clemson fan. Not this idiot from Miami. This idiot from Clemson. Clemson can mess around and win the ACC in football, basketball, and soccer. Aren't we the defending basketball champs?
He's
win the soccer national championship?
Win.
Are we the defending basketball champions of the conference?
I think he's looking forward to this basketball season.
Oh, okay.
And Jordan Bowman's a good guy.
We did lose to them last night. We did lose them last night, but we still lost to them last year at their house and ended up winning the ACC championship.
I think they're just mad because they didn't want that smoke last year in the ACC tournament. They're upset that the game got called. We had to raise the trophy while they looked. I think that's why Jordan's upset. It's okay. Good job. Good effort. All right, you were saying, Logan?
But like y'all two have been talking about, the locker room has been a huge disappointment. And it started off, I think, at the very beginning of the season during the offseason. I think Marvin Wilson and a lot of these guys, even more veteran guys, weren't on the same page with Mike Norvell. I mean, it's obvious. There's guys that are leaving. There's guys that were intending on leaving during the middle of the season, and they got turned down. And you see there's a few of them that are going to the entering their name into the NFL draft. And then you got one that thought he was going somewhere, but he got told no, and he's going to go join one at a fellow ACC team. So the locker room has been, it was just turmoil from the very beginning. You want to get guys that are believing in the process, believe in your coach, and that plays a huge vital role in any kind of success. If you're watching film, you're believing in what plays are being put in. I mean, James can talk about it. I mean, it's all about being able to be on the same page, and I just really don't think they were from the very beginning before they even took the first snap against Georgia Tech. And that sucks, but it just is what it is. But it seems like you got to have your own locker room, and that's what Norvell and any staff is going to try to do when they see that there's been a problem. And there's a lot of, I mean, how many Willie Taggart guys are left now? I mean, should we talk about Warren Thompson leaving now? I mean, I felt like he was gone I thought he was gone.
He was on the team for it.
I thought he was gone when Willie Taggart and them went at it. And Dugan.
See, with him is Willie Tag, and this is what was weird about the Warren Thompson thing. And I can speak on it now because he's not there. But neither one of them were there. But when Warren Thompson I think his mom made a comment on Facebook when Tag got fired, or something like that. My bad. Yeah, hear me? My earpiece.
Oh, we got you.
You're both going out, but we can hear you good.
I think you sound better.
There we go.
Now we can't hear you.
I think you can hear us. But what's your take, Jason, on Warren Thompson?
All right.
No, you got you now, Mark. We got you again. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to try to emergency charge my earbuds.
Yeah.
People are seeing the technical stuff behind the scenes here with Mark Rogers TV, the voice of
Oh, it's highly technical.
behind the scenes.
Oh, my word.
Charge your stuff, guys.
Here's what
Takes us
happened.
hours to do.
Warren Thompson and the running back, I believe, from out of the Beaufort area that ended up transferring out. Both were young men who had to who emotionally did not transition very well to the college setting. Happens sometimes, nothing wrong with that. And they needed to go get some help, to go talk to somebody to try to help get them there. And that was one of the things that basically Taggart and staff forced them to do that, much to the chagrin of the parents and other people. So because again, there's still this stigma on talking to a shrink. I have no idea why, but listen, when you get to that, especially when I hear if people believe how sensitive these kids are to tweets, they need to go see a shrink. And also bigger than that, when you're used to performing on a high level and you no longer do it and you don't know why, but you can't piece together why talking to somebody does help. So that was something that also was taken away. So a lot of the outbursts, a lot of the things weren't him being a bad person. It was him really needing somebody to help piece together the mental things. And that happens more often in football than not. Some people self-medicate, some people do other things. Some people, go seek professional help. So that didn't happen. That stopped happening. He was doing okay because he was having some success. He essentially, and this isn't a good thing or a compliment, he essentially filled the Keith Gavin role at Florida State. Big body wide receiver, runs decent routes. When the ball is thrown to him, it's a 50% chance he's going to catch it, which is a terrible way to get there. And the Thursday before Duke, he was kicked off the team. He got into a big dust up, and I think that was strike 33. And he hasn't even been around. He wasn't at the game. He didn't do warm-ups. It was just that. And but the one thing I will say with outside of that is that Mike, which should go into leading the locker room to reform, is that Mike has done his exit evals. And the way they did their exit evals, it was with the position coach, and the position coach told you. So let's say it was just last week. So Monday, Tuesday, you get a chance to meet with your position coach. Wednesday, Thursday, you're meeting with Mike Norvell. And in between that, if you needed to talk to your coordinator, you had to reach out to the coordinator. So I know some people who talk to all three, and a lot of punches were not held, and he welcomed it. Like, he didn't just say, "Dude, you suck, you stink, I don't want you here anymore," and not let you get your piece in about how you felt about him. And I think the biggest thing from talking to, having a few people comment to me about how it went, it was a lot of ownership on the lack of communication and execution during the quarantine time. I've been very vocal about that. They might not have been able to practice. They might not have been able to do a lot of other things. But the NCAA says you can't do football-related drills during the offseason. It doesn't say you can't talk. It doesn't say you can't communicate. And there's 40 hours in a week. There were 4 months. And I think I did the math on this show. I know I did it on my radio show, but you do 40 times 10 times 16 weeks, because I'm going to give you 2 of those weeks. They had 5-week months, so give them the 2 weeks off of vacation. There was a ton of hours to be able to develop relationships, because that's all you really had to do to be able to do. But that's really where everything. So 40 times 10 times 16.
40 times 10 is 400 times
6,400. 6,400. Yeah, math at 16.
No,
did you say 6,400?
400 times 16.
It's more than that.
400 times 16 is 6,400.
Yeah, it's 6,400. 16 times 4 is
I hate the
64.
math for the SAT. It's the one thing I'm good at.
Yeah. I think I did that math the first time we went to
40
go around.
times 16.
That's 6,400.
Yeah. So bottom line is, regardless of the hours, it's a ton of hours to be able to develop relationships, to be able to find out about siblings, to be able to find out about home lives, to be able to talk about Black Lives Matter, to be able to talk about workouts, to be able to talk about deficiencies, to be able to talk about just general knowledge of life in football. So I think, though, this time around, and when relationships build, and if you really want to build, especially with a bunch of guys that you deem to be alpha males, you got to be able to let them tell you that your baby ugly, and and vice versa. So there were some guys that I'm of the belief that were told it's in their best interest to declare, or it's in their best interest, like, to do something, or what are you going to do? Because if you're going to be negative, don't be around here. Right, wrong, or indifferent. And then after talking to a couple of other coaches, it's not even like what the fan base is doing. Like, oh, you stink, you go on. It's like, nah, man, it's in your best interest to go somewhere else. We'll be nothing but supportive. We'll talk to coaches good about you. We won't burn the bridge with you. So it was grateful. So I mean, those are the biggest things that I think kind of come out of this, and Mike got to capitalize on it. He can't have them little lies catch him up no more. Like, just, and again, it's not a big lie, but it's the little lies are the ones that get people to not trust you anymore. Like telling the Miami, the commission or committee or whatever it was, that you're not going to fire Telly, and then you fire Telly. Which is, again, it's in everybody knows the game. They know exactly how it's supposed to go. But just tell them, I'm going to evaluate Telly, and if I can keep him, I'll keep him, but I may have to move on. And they would have been 100% with you about that. It's saying, I just text messaged my players. Not I reached out and individually talked to them. Don't make it seem like you did something more than other people did. Just don't tell that white lie. Don't tell the little white lie about the COVID testing. Don't tell this, don't tell that. Don't tell people that DJ Matthews is practicing for punt returns when DJ Matthews is in Jacksonville and has already told you he's opted out. Like, don't say those things, because those are the things that get caught up and create way more distraction than what it really is. So I'm actually giving him, because of lack of COVID and the recruiting, how it kind of did take a turn for the better, because of some of this momentum, maybe, just maybe, this could be year 1.5 or 1.2 for him. But I'm gonna tell you this, I don't want to hear it. Don't nobody want to hear excuses about give me more time. This time, the time is now.
Mm-hmm. Talking about Warren Thompson, which sucks about him. He had such good flashes during spring ball. You'd hear about him in camp and everything, and very, very, very talented. He had a few very minuscule plays that he really impressed on the field and games. It's just things that weren't clicking with him and the staffs, both staffs. This wasn't just one staff where he just couldn't connect with. This was two staffs that he could not, for some reason, get on a track with, which really sucks because he's gifted, beyond gifted. We thought he'd be fighting. Tamarian Terry was always going to be the number one, but who was going to be that number two? And a lot of people were predicting Warren Thompson to be that guy. The mental structure for him and inside there, I think, really hurt him. We'll be interested to see where he ends up. But that kind of stuff, you just can't keep on. You just get so many chances and chances and chances. Well, and I'm actually surprised that he made it throughout this whole season, honestly. I thought it wouldn't last. I thought, he joined with calling out the administration after the COVID-19 protocols. And he did his thing there. And then about an hour later, about 5 of his teammates were saying otherwise and going against what he said. So that was just already a complete cluster F of miscommunication between the admin and Warren, and then also just created an environment inside that locker room where guys weren't on the same page. And that was the whole storyline of this season, which is terrible for a football team. Just not going to work.
Well, none of us said Warren Thompson was going to be the number 2 receiver. None of us.
People were saying who was it going to be? Tell me who was it going to be?
You weren't even that drunk.
Tell me who was it going to be?
Keyshawn Helton, we said, was going to be the number 2. Multiple said Keyshawn Helton.
We're talking under Willie Taggart, and whenever he was having his splash plays in the spring, Warren Thompson has been talked about plenty of times.
More important than anything, though, I saw you doing your little math there on your desk. Since we've reached the halfway point, have you done the math of how you're going to do this equation for the like button?
I have not, because it's already 6:41, and we probably have about 50 or so more people watching. Hit that like button. I mean, we're here every Tuesday night or Wednesday night, no matter what. We don't, the world could be collapsing, which it did this year, but this is our last one of 2020. We made it through. We're all 4 of us alive, thankfully, and we definitely shout out to all of the listeners and the chatters too. The more people that chat helps too. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is our last one of 2020, unless some meteor hits tomorrow or tonight, but I hope not. That would suck. But don't be depressed. Be happy.
Why are you bringing that voodoo on here? Why are you bringing?
I can't doubt that.
Well, I think technically it would still be our last show of 2020, so I think you're safe.
Hopefully, that would be the thing.
Logan's taking his like solicitation just to a whole new level.
It's hitting to where
he's predicting Armageddon and World War III and the end of the world. And
shout out to the Miami Hurricane fans, too.
Logan's the man. James and I are just peasants here in this game. Logan's the king.
Jason is triggered. These last 2 weeks, Jason, got to let it loose.
What are you talking about? Everything is awesome.
So basically, James, when you don't show up, Logan wants Jason and I to fight. He thinks that's the best way for us to carry on this show, is that the 2 of us need to get into it.
Usually Willie Taggart and Jimbo Fisher and Mike Norvell are brought up.
James, I just ignore what both they say because both them, one's drunk, the other's too busy tweeting, so I really just ignore what both of them say.
Yeah, I'm just the king of Twitter, just constantly.
Yeah, we've actually had a few conversations about that behind the scenes. Twitter account, bro. So.
Did y'all talk about coaching salaries increasing last week?
Yeah.
I want to say congratulations to the drunk, Steve Sarkisian. You can buy a lot of Hennessy and Remy with $3.5 million.
You're not holding anything back here in 2020. Just going out with a bang here. I see what's going on.
Listen, man, I am not hating on that. I am.
You are.
And the reason why I bring that up, because there was an article written, I believe it was today or it was yesterday, where they discussed about FSU. I believe we're second behind Clemson in the ACC in spending on coaches, but we are nowhere near the top in terms of overall spending. Clemson is one of the top programs in spending, but it's most of the SEC. So it goes into something what I've been pounding on my chest since Willie Taggart was here, and really after I got over the hurt of the disrespect of what Jimbo left and realized what Jimbo was saying. I'm still not forgiving Jimbo. I'm just saying I get what Jimbo is saying. We have a good Booster Club president right now in Mike Alford, but currently Florida State has to figure out what they want to do. Do they want to spend money like a big boy, or do they want to be a little kid, or do they want to be a JV program? Now, if you're currently playing like a JV program, that does not mean that you have to like stay on the JV program status. So that's something that I just found interesting, that Alabama, like we spend a combined like I think 1.5 million on both coordinators, when to get a legit coordinator, like the minimum a legit coordinator would make on one side of the ball is about 1.5 million.
I love that a guy named Shankopotamus is talking smack about our school. I just love this one. Got some great viewer comments coming in this week.
Well, we've got great viewers.
Great viewers.
So that's where the comments come from.
Amazing.
My viewers are the best
ever
online.
Their use of the word "there" and other words are just amazing, phenomenal.
Okay, they're high on character. Maybe their grammatical skills aren't the best, but they're good people.
Okay, Norvell.
They're good people.
Okay, character, 3 and 6. These are 3
James,
and 6.
I thought that this would be a good topic for this week, and right up Jason's alley, actually. And certainly you two can take part as well, but I just think, this is perfect for Jason. New Year's resolutions for Mike Norvell. So if Jason were Mike Norvell, what would your New Year's resolutions be?
I would have put a gun to my head if I was Mike Norvell. That's right. Oh, sorry. Was that out loud? I apologize. I'm sorry. If he's going to call him a drug,
might be a little strong.
But,
again, on my show where we're not thin-skinned and too sensitive, I'm not going to go crazy about that. If that was directed toward other people, I'm sure that somebody
it was clearly directed at Mike Norvell.
At the bottom of the screen would go nuts.
Oh yes, I'm such a crybaby. You guys have attacked my religion, attacked my politics, and I've still come here 85 weeks. So whatever. Okay, Boomer.
We haven't attacked your ex-wife, apparently.
Apparently, my ex-wife is congratulations. Mazel tov to you, James. Good job.
Attacked your religion? What?
Good job, man.
Where did this come from?
So you want to basically, James, what's happening here is they're trying to bait me into attacking Mike Norvell so those who can defend Mike Norvell because he's the greatest coach of all time. So here's what I'm going to say. Here's my resolution to Mike Norvell. Stop losing to crap teams like Georgia Tech that you have no business losing to, and play like a real team against opponents like Louisville, against Pitt. We've said this before, and I will say this again. I'm not upset that Florida State finished 3 and 6. I get it. Florida State had the talent to get their butts whooped by Miami, to get their butts whooped by Notre Dame. Clemson would have dog-slammed us if we had played them. I get that. I understand that. I'm upset at the way we looked against Louisville. I'm upset at the way we looked against Pitt. Those are games we should not be losing by 32 points, by 27 points, or 24 points, against Pitt. Losing badly against NC State. Yes, thank you, Luke Walker. Finally, somebody recognizes it. That's what I'm saying. That's the stuff that bothers me, is it's looking like we don't care. And that's what bothers me at this point, because I am so damn proud to be a Florida State grad and so love this program that when I see us not playing like the Florida State that we should, like the Florida State we have the talent to be capable of playing like, that's what bothers me.
I just want to get this chronologically in order. So Mike Norvell's supposed to get 21 games just like Willie Taggart.
Right.
So he takes the gun to his head before that. So he's not going to be able to
he'll have 21 games.
Finish out the 21 games.
9 and 12 or worse. I don't think he should die. I think he should be fired. That's just my opinion. Once again, we're all entitled to have our own opinion. You can have a different one than me. Logan can have a different one than me. You want me to respect your opinion? Respect my opinion. That's all. Shout out to Logan's cat who entered the building.
Yeah.
But if I'm understanding your opinion only stands because of what the FSU administration did to Willie Taggart. If that did not occur, you believe that Mike Norvell, regardless of how bad season 2 would be, that he should get a third season.
I think he should get a third season regardless, because we've agreed on this before that I think he should get a third season, because I don't think it's fair to fire somebody after 21 games. All I've said, and now this is the second week in a row that I'm repeating myself with saying this.
I know what you said.
If you're going to fire one coach after 21 games, because he went 9 and 12, you have to keep that same level for everyone. I'm 5'11". How do I have a Napoleonic? Taller than Mark.
My driver's license says 5'11".
Mine says 6 foot because that was before 9/11 when we could lie on those.
Well, you said 5'11".
I am actually 5'11", but I lied and said 6 foot because that's you could lie. In 2000 you could lie on your driver's license in Florida. Then 9/11 happened, and that ruined everything.
Yeah.
Jordan's a 5-star moderator, he says. Congratulations, Jordan. So here, we have a few minutes left here, actually. We have about 20 minutes left. So let's focus on a few important things here. James. Orange Bowl this Saturday.
I don't get to get New Year's resolutions.
Fine, James's New Year's resolution for Mike Norvell. Go ahead. And then Logan, and we'll go. Okay, New Year's resolution.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll do that.
No. Go ahead. You were right.
Ask your question.
I apologize. Go ahead. What is your New Year's resolution for Mike Norvell?
Have an organized spring. Welcome former players back. Men fences in Miami. Mm-hmm. And beat the teams that you're supposed to beat and show up to the games of the teams that are outmatched. So, like, again, against Clemson, at least let's not kick a field goal on our last drive, like before time runs out, but let's try to score 14 and 21 points. Let's make the Miami game a true rivalry. Even if you don't win, we'll get them next year. Same thing with Florida. Same thing with Miami. This boat race when you lose games is just not aesthetically pleasing. But I think if Florida State actually comes in and beats on the teams that are sisters of the poor, the ACC, and you can somehow, like you did this year with North Carolina, you squeeze the win out. If you can somehow squeeze a win out against Notre Dame in Tallahassee with probably a good amount of their team graduating and whatnot, then you'll see yourself have the momentum, and recruiting will take care of itself. But I think if you're taking care of alumni will take care of you in numerous ways. Mend those fences down in Miami, then we won't have to go to Arizona to offer 3-star DBs, which should never happen. We got those crawling around the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. Win the games you're supposed to win, and then have an organized and clean spring practice.
Logan, what do you got for your king Mike?
Yeah. My king, mainly just one, because everybody kind of just hit everything that needed to be said. Got to find a sponsorship for natural ice to be inside the stadium. It should be at a kiosk and west, north, and south side of all part of Doak Campbell Stadium. And there should be easy access for us to grab at least a 12-pack before every FSU game.
You're going to be graduating soon. You're going to get a real job. You can actually drink real beer. You don't have to settle for Natty Life or PBR.
Like I said, this is what Willie did to me. I don't want Mike to do this to me.
You're right. You never had an alcoholic beverage before Willie Taggart took over.
No, never did. This is where I started. This is where I found my addiction with natural ice, is because of Willie Taggart.
So what was your drink under Jimbo? Were you a PBR guy then, or what was your
apple juice? Apple juice.
Lots.
Apple juice, orange juice, milk. That was it. During under Jimbo, who gave me a ring.
Right.
So gave me a ring.
I'm sure you went to church every Sunday and Wednesday nights.
Got a ring. Got a ring.
Speaking of Jimbo, the Orange Bowl this Saturday down here in South Florida. I'll be covering it. Who do I root for? Texas A&M or North Carolina? Do I root for Jimbo, who got us the national title, or was the coach of the national title team in 2013, as Logan said? Or do I root for the actual Florida State alumni, Mac Brown? Logan, who do I root for?
North Carolina.
James?
Right. Easy. We need that North Carolina win to mean more. So if North Carolina beats Texas A&M, that means Florida State could have beat Texas
Florida
A&M.
State's win. Mike Norvell's win over North Carolina at number 5 in the country looks a lot better after beating.
Does it get taken away by a loss to Georgia Tech? Yeah.
First game of the season. Didn't know who your starting quarterback was going to be.
Wow. In the words of Michael Jordan,
a lot of stuff went into that.
Stop it.
There's a lot of that first game. That's not easy. I mean, lucky enough, COVID just started.
Were we up 10-0 to start that game?
There's rain delays, regardless of if they practice for rain delays or not.
So now we're blaming God for the rain. Got it. Okay, guys. Recognize it here.
Nah. Listen, man, this season's over. I'm just trying to find optimism. I'm trying to be positive. 2021 can't be any worse than 2020. But 2020 did stink. Like 2020 did stink.
We can't root for Jimbo too much. We gave him enough praise, and we did a little golf clap for them beating Florida this year, and they did their job. After that, I mean,
He's dead to us.
can't do too much, right?
He's Tupac. He's Biggie. He's dead to us.
Damn, Jesus.
It's from a movie.
I'm happy he didn't make the playoffs.
I
Yeah,
am too. I'm happy.
yeah.
I mean, they at least played more than 6 games, though, so I don't know if they deserve to be in the playoffs more than some teams.
Oh.
Dabo.
Okay. I'm actually hoping. I actually was rooting for Clemson, but now I want Clemson to lose because Dabo talks too damn much.
Oh,
Like all that 6K, dude, we get it. I understand it. They're in the damn playoff now. I don't need to hear that for 3 weeks about how you don't feel like they should be in it. Right now, it's starting to smell like you're scared. So, like, either beat their ass because they haven't played that much or shut up. Like, just like, or actually both. Like, if you feel like you'll beat them, beat them. If you're afraid, and that's why you have to keep saying this. And now that it was Tony Elliott's not going to be there because of the vid. By the way, people,
Yikes.
my radio partner, got the vid. He's one of those guys who hasn't been really a big proponent of it. It is whooping his ass. He's a good guy, been cleanly. I'm just telling you, he's taking all the precautions. Cover your mouth so that your favorite football team can go out there and have the full staff. Or if your team stinks and you need them to cancel football games, don't cover your mouth and just cough around. But I mean, the thing is that, and to answer Jordan Bowman's, tell the media, stop that. That is BS. You don't have to answer the question. They asked him about Black Lives Matter, and you know what he did? Shimmied off that thing real easy. Dabo knows exactly how to answer questions that he wants to. You know how Saban would have answered that question? A real coach with balls that's going to go down into history? I'm not going to answer it. So quit asking. Like, that's exactly how he would have done it. He's done it before. Real men know how to control the conversation. So you need to ask yourself, is he a winner because he's lucky enough to have this culture at quarterback, or is he a winner because he's an alpha male? Because alpha males know exactly how to change and push conversation. What I'm hearing is a lot of beta, and I don't need to hear beta because I actually have a higher valuation of Dabo Swinney. But I'm starting to understand why he was Jimbo's female dog when he was here.
I hope, though, that I think I speak for all of us, that I hope Mark comes in with this giant grin on his face next Wednesday, because Ohio State will be playing for a national title down here on January 11th, because I hope Ohio State I'm talking about stone cold stuns Clemson, like off the top rope, Macho Man style from back in the day. Like, that needs to happen because Dabo needs to shut the hell up. I need Alabama to dog stomp Notre Dame, and I need Alabama to beat Ohio State so that Nick Saban wins another national title in the former home where he was when he coached the Dolphins.
This is the only show where this happens. Lewis Papp is wondering whether I still have a pulse, whether I've fallen asleep. This is the only show because Jason goes on for about 27 minutes at a time. So this is the only show where people have to check whether I'm still with everyone.
Well, one of us has to be a leader here, Mark. So I had decided I had to take.
Yeah, I've proven to be completely incapable of doing that.
Thank you.
The other 87 shows that I do throughout the week.
You
absolutely.
There's no
question about that.
Admit it, buddy. Who we got with James here this week? Who's our guest?
Oh yeah, let's see this.
This is Killer. The second born, Kai Coleman. He decided that he wanted to come over here and have a conversation with everybody.
Nice.
Nice.
He got his hair chopped off. So all the boys have froze, but I'm about to send him back though.
James,
say hi. Say hi.
Hi, Kai. Hey, Killer.
He said hi. There you go.
James, quick question for you. I noticed on your Twitter they showed you in the radio booth. Is it true you did a radio show with a stuffed animal recently?
Yes. When my radio partner Denny doesn't come in town, I bring. We had Leo Johnson. Trey, my oldest son's stuffed lion. He was he'll be there in the studio with me tonight as well.
Okay.
And last week we had what was it? Teddy Barrison. His big stuffed animal with a Florida State letter jacket. Last week he was in there. So we'll try to, I gotta have. It's very lonely to do a radio show by yourself without any kind of back and forth. So it's good to have a person there or an inanimate object there to be able to bounce ideas off of.
Mark, I feel like we have to step our game up because Logan's got a cat. James has an actual human being. I feel like we need to step. Wait, hold on. Mark is once again about to try to throw me off and make me relax. Let's see who is. Really, we're lighting up a Christmas tree. That's what
I can do on short notice. Cat, we can't compete with James, of course, but at least And this, many people have complimented me on the Christmas tree. This is actually the worst looking Christmas tree I've ever purchased in my life. My daughter and I take great pride in buying like a full, huge, nice, fat, perfectly proportioned Christmas tree, but we just went too late and we just had to grab a scrawny Christmas tree that is not a good look, but it's so far back there. That's what we're going with.
Did everyone have a good Christmas?
I did.
Yes. Nice Christmas. Yeah.
I had Chinese.
I had a dad's Christmas.
Not bad. Do you have a lot of cigars, James?
Oh man, no, you would think I actually would have really enjoyed a good box of cigars, but it's hard to get that for me because I get them like all the time from thehumidor.com. If you type in sports then at checkout, you get 20% off. But I got bedroom shoes. I love bedroom shoes. I got 2 watches. I'm missing something, but I'm hard to buy for. I got some T-shirts, and then what I did buy myself some suits for myself. But everybody else had a pretty good. Everybody had a pretty good Christmas. My son has all kinds of violent Nerf guns.
Nice.
I no longer spank my kids. I will no longer spank my kids, but I will shoot them with Nerf guns. Because these Nerf guns have a little pop, and it gets your attention. Like if you're doing something you ain't supposed to do, I don't have to get up. I can shoot them from across the room, and I got pretty good accuracy. So, we got that, and then we got the PlayStation 5. So, shout out to my friend Tara Kennedy for hooking me up with that. And my son I want a proud dad moment / my kid's kind of a nerd, which is cool. We got Spider-Man yesterday. Everything was installed about 6 p.m. yesterday. Right before I went on I didn't have radio yesterday. But 6 p.m. yesterday, he literally beat the Spider-Man Miles Morales video game today about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know what you do with the video game after you beat it, but now I got to get him Madden.
James, you must have dropped the term bedroom shoes.
Yeah.
You did that at some point? I have no idea what bedroom shoes are.
Shout out to Karen with the bedroom shoes right there.
Those are
bedroom shoes.
James, don't worry because nerds run the world. Much like this chat, nerds like myself, we run this. So,
no, Jason, I don't think you're a nerd.
I am. I'll admit it. Math nerd.
Whoa, we're seeing the technical side of everything here. Hold up.
Whoa. Mark,
what the hell's happening here?
We're seeing
everything. What you got
everything.
for Christmas?
The ring light. And his mic went out. Mark, we have lost your mic.
Tried to get cocky and then he lost the mic. Yeah. That's what happens.
So I think you got a ring light.
My back.
You're back.
Okay.
And Miami lost. And if Florida loses, my Christmas will be complete. I would love it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
More important, James, real quick.
State has right now the best winning streak.
As we get closer to wrapping up 2020, quick, James, did you get any of the gifts from Mark or Logan? Because they said they were sending stuff to us. I haven't gotten anything. Did you get anything?
To their defense, the U.S. Postal Service has been pretty bad at times. Real story. I sent a package out like on a Thursday, the week before Christmas. Mm-hmm. The guy was supposed to get it by Saturday. He didn't get it. I sent another package out on Monday. He got that package from Monday on Wednesday. He got the package that I sent a week ago, 2-day mail. He got that on that Thursday. So I don't know what's going on. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that, or like the PlayStations, it might have got stolen. When they saw the NG gear, I've heard nothing but I heard FedEx employees are stealing no game day gear.
That's what it's not so much Mark, but it's more Logan. Logan got all that great no game day hats. He said he was going to send us stuff. Said that was going to be the holiday gifts. I got nothing. You didn't get anything.
I'm always worried about COVID with you, Jason. You know.
Well, based on that comment, Logan, I think it's about time for me to remind Jason that if he would get us a sponsor, then maybe I could get him a Christmas gift. Maybe I would have enough money to do that.
You're right. You're right. Let me call in sick from my actual job that pays my salary to get you a sponsor. This is what you do.
No, you just need to do more work. You put in your 40 there. You got to give us more than an hour a week.
You have to give me this thing called money. Let me explain to you how this works.
Karen's looking for her gift.
Where's her gift?
Send us her address. We'll give her a gift.
She looks like this.
I think she has a gift, actually. I can think of 3. But anyway.
Whoa. That.
I don't know what she's.
Slipper shoes.
Yeah.
A PS5. And a cigar. I'm trying to think of what we've been talking about.
Wait, what's the score? I completely forgot Florida was playing tonight.
We've got Florida and Oklahoma.
Here's the question.
Oklahoma wins by 2 touchdowns.
I mean, Oklahoma or Florida is without their top 4 pass catchers. That's James. What do you think?
Did Trask opt out?
No, he's still playing. He'll be in Arlington.
But Pitts isn't there, and what's his name?
Pitts, Brian,
Pitts and
Tony and
Tony's out. Yeah, his 2 guys are gone.
I'm going to go with the theory that guys step up in these situations. Florida's going to keep it close.
So but you think Florida's going to keep it close?
Have they hired Kevin Steele yet?
No.
Okay, so that same defensive coordinator is there? All right, yeah.
Correct.
I'm going with 2 touchdowns.
Okay, so you're going Oklahoma 2 touchdowns. Logan's going Oklahoma 2 touchdowns. Now, Mark, you said Florida will keep it close. Close enough.
My predictions are provided on Patreon. You got to recognize and, of course, honor the folks that subscribe there. My picks are on Patreon.
Pay the man.
Pay the man.
Pay your time. Pay your time.
If you get the man paid, he'll stop complaining about us not having a sponsor. So
Jason, in addition to getting a sponsorship, if you only put in 16 cents a day is the math. $5 a month, you can get my predictions on Patreon.
What are you, a Sarah McLaughlin dog commercial? What are you? $5 a day? No.
It's a well-earned $5.
There you go.
Here, let's take a vote. All who think Mark should step
Bump
up
ESPN, pay the $5 a Mark.
Mark, get your own sponsors, all right? You've got the work. Get a sponsor. Hell, it could be Chick-fil-A. I don't care at this point. Just get a sponsor.
Well, you just gave them that now.
Once we clear football season, I'm going to be on the phone. I'm going to be after it.
So we got to have another week of this?
Yeah, we'll fight about it one more week.
Yeah. Well,
that's if I'm able to get a sponsor in 1 week, which I'm no salesman.
Why doesn't Karen sponsor this? Viewers should be able to sponsor a different episode each week. We should set up that number.
Not a bad idea. It's actually not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
For Letty the Gump Summers hour. Karen's hour. I love Chick-fil-A. Karen loves Chick-fil-A. It's
mediocre chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
I think it's decent for a fast food place.
No,
I think it's really good for a fast food place.
It's well made. It's
the condiments.
That's what Chick-fil-A gives you. It's like condiments are top. Like
the condiments top it up.
Their Polynesian sauce is better than most people's Polynesian
Chick-fil-A sauce is good too.
But like Chick-fil-A sandwich is going to be consistent, but it's not a really good.
Thank you. Karen just said it.
We got a commitment here.
You're welcome. I'm done with this. You're welcome. I just did your work in 58 minutes.
Depending on how much this sponsorship is for, I still think I'm running at a huge deficit here, but I'll take something back.
Let's get into the DMs with her as soon as possible, Mark.
Absolutely. Whoa. Let's do that.
This show is just taking a hard right.
Yeah. We're in overtime. No, it's the overtime session. It's a little looser.
We still have 50 seconds to go until we get to the overtime.
We were late. We were 9 minutes late. So
here's the most important question. Mark Rogers, if Ohio State makes it to the national championship game, which is being played down here at Hard Rock Stadium on January 11th, will you come down and we do the show live? You'll have to buy your own ticket, your own plane, your own hotel. But
when Florida State and Ohio State play in a college football playoff game, I will be down.
So never. Got it. So you're not going to come down to watch them play Alabama.
Yeah.
No.
You would not come down to watch them play Alabama.
No, not doing that this year. I've not planned for it. No, I have other plans going on at that time.
It's not your fan right there. Thank you. Karen will be there.
All right,
Sure she
guys.
will.
I gotta get ready for radio. I'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
Goodbye.
Yes.
See you guys later.
Logan's going to even come down. Logan, we can't see it over. Logan will come down to Miami.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize where the championship game was this year.
January 11th, inside Hard Rock.
Okay.
Orange Bowl is the last bowl
We got a
game.
little trip to make. We'll see.
I'm just saying, I live 10 minutes away. There's a nice Hampton Inn, free continental breakfast. It's good stuff.
There are other people right now that have a hand in planning my next several weeks. So we'll see.
So tell them to come to Miami. Benvenidos a Miami.
We'll look you up.
That way, y'all can both argue about Willie Taggart.
No, there will be no arguing.
Then you've got to come
Have a
down.
good time.
Logan seriously is like the little kid. You're like little nephews of mine that are sitting there like trying to like poke the bear.
Yeah, we did good though. This is the first time in a couple of weeks that we haven't not had an argument about Willie Taggart, and there was a little bit, but not as worse.
I think you just have a man crush on Willie Taggart, and you miss him so much after seeing the disaster that was the first year of Mike Norvell.
I miss his games that really were brutally lost over.
100%. Love Barbecue and Knowles wants to know, Mark, who wins the national championship?
I'm going to let everyone know because it's time stamped and you can look it up. I picked Alabama to beat Ohio State in the national championship game before the season started.
Ooh.
But of course, my game by game predictions can only be found on Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon.
That was solid there, though. That was nice. You gave them a little tease there. Gave them a little taste.
A little taste what you get, you know?
I nailed the 3 obvious selections to the college football playoff. Then I threw in the wild card of Texas. And so obviously that didn't quite come through. But the other 3.
Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and then Texas.
Gotta have some fun.
Yeah.
Legitimate question. Can Notre Dame hang with Alabama? How quickly can we say no?
I hope so. Is that an answer?
Yeah, we'll allow it. We'll allow I hope so as an answer.
I hope so. Florida gives us some hope.
Wait, we don't like Florida.
Florida's performance. I know you guys don't like Florida, but they gave Alabama a run.
Was that more Alabama's defense playing horrible or Florida's offense just having an amazing game?
I tend to think it was more about Florida, and that's not a good thing for Notre Dame.
Logan?
What happened? They last one quarter.
Logan, we literally just asked one question.
Yeah. They last one quarter. That's the question you asked earlier.
So, Logan, who do you think? Who do you think plays for the national title? Who wins in the semifinals? I'm going Alabama, and I'm going Ohio State. Who do you got?
Guts telling me Alabama, Clemson, but I don't want that to happen. So I'll say Alabama, Clemson, but I hope Ohio State's ready.
And Mark's predictions you can get on, where is it, Mark?
It's on Patreon. Just go to Patreon, search MarkRogersTV.
And for 16 cents a day, you too can sponsor our show.
16 cents a day. And who knows, that rate might go up come January 1st. So this might be a late run to get in for $5.
So Karen, if you give us $1, you get a whole week of sponsorship right there. Oh, wait, $1.12. Sorry. $1.12, you get a whole week of sponsorship.
Yeah. She owes me.
Whoa.
All right, everyone. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by.
We only get to say it once a year, guys. See you next year.
That is right. See you in 2021. See you next year, guys.
Well, if the meteor comes and strikes, like Logan said.
Yeah.